I call to order the meeting of the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee. It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025 at 3:31 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Velazquez. Vice Chair Browning.
Present.
Chair Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Keys.
Here.
We have 4 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. A quorum being present, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, December 11th, 20.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 6th. Madam Clerk, please call.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Browning.
Aye.
Chair Schweitzer.
Aye.
We have 4 aye votes.
Thank you. By your vote, you have sustained the motion of the Alderman from the 9th and approved the minutes of Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. We'll move on to board bills for review. Out of respect for members not on this committee, we'll begin with item number 4, board bill number 149, introduced by Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman, you are recognized on your board bill.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. Madam Clerk, can you please read the summary for Board Bill 149?
Board Bill 149, introduced by Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard, an ordinance establishing a 2-way stop site at the intersection of Hodemount Avenue and the Hodemount tracks, regulating all traffic traveling north and southbound on Hodemount Avenue at the intersection of Hodemount Avenue and the Hodemount tracks, and containing an emergency clause.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. This is just a step in the Greenway, Great Rivers Greenway, Gwen Giles Park, Hodemount Greenway project. And I have hopefully with me today, okay, I have, they should be controlling it. I have with me today are they online? They might have been looking at the agenda. Should be Ms. Bruce from Great Rivers Greenway and her team, Mr. Washington and Mr. Snelling. Okay, thank you so much.
Ms. Bruce, can you turn your camera on and your microphone, please?
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I apologize. I should have told you all we would be first. I didn't know, so I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to go ahead and be before you. Again, with me, I have Ms. Bruce from Great Rivers Greenway and her team, Mr. Washington, Mr. Snelling. Ms. Bruce, you can go ahead and follow the direction of Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you so much, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. If you're speaking on this bill, can you please raise your right hand? Please raise your right hand. We're going to just need to swear you in. I don't know if people in the room can hear me. They might be struggling because they're not looking at us either. Fascinating. Alderwoman, while they figure it out, do you want to speak on the bill or do you want?
Well, I would like, I'm excited about the presentation they put together. If you're not familiar with Gwen Giles Park and who Gwen Giles was, the first Black senator in the state of Missouri, from the neighborhood West End where Gwen Giles Park is. This is the Hodiamont Greenway project that's been in the media and in the community, getting so much community input. And this is actually the kind of the start of it right there at Hodiamont. And at Hodiamont, it does go north and south there. And so this would be a stop sign, traffic calming over there in that area to promote safety around pedestrian and by cycling over there to go into the Greenway and then move forward down east within the Greenway. And I think they're waving their hands,
I
so maybe
believe
we got it together.
I would say, I believe we have audio now, so
Okay.
I
Miss
apologize.
Bruce,
Thank you, Ms.
much.
Bruce.
Thank you for being here. If anyone in your room there will be speaking, if you don't mind raising your right hand, and we'll get you sworn in real quick. So raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. And please proceed on your presentation. If there is a presentation supposed to be pulled up on our end, that would be wonderful to have that on screen as well. But please proceed. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
right.
Thank you guys for having us here today. We are, yes, thank you, Alderperson Hubbard, for getting us started. We are here to talk about Gwen Giles Park. Great Rivers Greenway is working on a project that will take us through, establish a new greenway called Hodiamont Greenway. It is on the old Hodiamont tracks, as explained, and adjacent to Gwen Giles Park, which is our first African-American state representative. We here at GRG, I am Kulia Bruce. I'm one of the project managers for the project. Have with me here Alonzo Washington from WSP. They're one of our consultants designing on the project. And our quick agenda is just that we're going to take you through what the Hodiamont Greenway is going to be, the Greenway terminus, and then we'll talk about the conditions that we have at this intersection. We are creating a new condition on this street where we will have pedestrians crossing at a mid-block crossing, so they'll be interacting with street traffic. And I cannot see the presentation that you guys are seeing, but we're on the first page. If you could, I don't know if there's a way for me to see where you guys are as well.
Thank you. Madam Clerk is pulling it up as we speak, and hopefully it shows up on your end through the Zoom presentation.
We see it now. Yes, thank you.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, and just FYI, so this is a community-led project. We started engagement in 2018, and that continues throughout every phase of the process of design and construction. If you could advance the slide, thank you. Like I said before, project overview, we'll talk about the park, intersection, and the trailhead, and then the stop sign justification. You can go to the next slide.
Okay, so I'm Alonzo Washington, the WSP consultant working on the Great Rivers Greenway Hodiamont project.
Hard time hearing you, sir. If you could be closer to the microphone.
So the phase one of this new greenway segment being added along the Hodiamont tracks from Gwen Giles Park to Catapple Street. The final design will be completed spring 2025, and we're planning to begin construction summer 2025 and commence and end winter 2025.
And just so you know, this is the first phase, so that Hodiamont Greenway will go from Hodiamont Avenue and we'll go east. We'll intersect with St. Vincent Greenway, zigzag kind of down Union, be on the front of the street at Union. So we'll come off the tracks for a little bit, but then we'll hit the tracks just past the schools and be back on track to go all the way to we hit almost close to really just before Van Deventer. And then we'll intersect with the Brickline Greenway at Spring and Enright. So it'll be a 3.5 mile greenway. And these are the 7 neighborhoods it'll connecting to 2 greenways that one is existing and one is coming in the next couple of years. So we can advance to the next slide.
So here we're looking at existing conditions at Gwen Giles Park at the intersection of Hodiamont Avenue. So this is a great opportunity for the first project of this phase one of multiple phases, and we're in partnership with Cornerstone, We Collab, the West End neighborhood, and the city of St. Louis. This current slide shows existing, and currently we're transitioning from one lane each direction to two lane in each direction, which promotes high-speed traffic, and it also is conversion to two streets, transition from one lane to two lane, as mentioned, north of the proposed intersection.
And we also have a couple things happening here. So we have existing conditions. So we have the existing roadway. The city is also working on their cycle track. That'll be on the west side of the street. That'll be a west side both direction instead of having one direction on either side of the street. We'll maintain the parallel parking on the east side. And then we'll have some improvements as well. So that's one thing that's happening here is the city cycle track, our project with the Greenway, and then you have the existing vehicular traffic that's coming along Hodemont Avenue. You good?
Yeah.
Please advance. Thank you.
Okay, Greenway connections. Greenways are all about pedestrian and cyclist connections and access. Some of the proposed improvements we are planning at the Hodemont Avenue intersection is new crossing. We're adding a cycle track, which will be installed by St. Louis City. We're adding a road diet, which includes a curb bump out and new stop signs along with the parking area north of the Greenway. So the Greenway improvements include trailhead and pavilion inside the park, Greenway main line and Greenway Park Loop, which stretches around Gwen Giles Park. There are also sidewalk connections being added to Maple Avenue and Catapple Street, which creates a full connected Greenway network, allowing for neighboring residents to access the Greenway.
And then we here we wanted to make sure that we understood that the parking that we're adding is 45-degree back-end parking. The existing roadway condition has north and southbound divided by a median just north of the Greenway crossing, the pedestrian crossing. And so that kind of created a condition that we saw was the best solution to that for parking was the 45-degree back end. To be able to do 90-degree parking to allow for or back end would have an effective the roadway outside of our scope. So this was what we were proposing with the conditions that we have and the scope that we have. You can advance to the next slide.
Okay. So this is the access and safety slide. The main reason we're here to present today are to discuss the stop sign controls. And by adding stop sign controls, both north and south direction of traffic, we can improve safety by requiring vehicles to stop and assess the intersection with decreases the likelihood of any accident. By adding stop signs, we can protect pedestrians and cyclists by ensuring that the driver yields at the crossing and promotes better driver sight distance by requiring a vehicle stop. The cost of stop signs are relatively inexpensive and allow for minimal maintenance. And just overall, stop signs are a great addition to mid-block crossings where applicable, to protecting the cyclists and providing a more cost-effective safety feature for pedestrians and cyclists crossing at a mid-block crossing.
If you could advance to the next slide.
So here's a driver's point of view for the improvements. So on the left, you have a dual bi-directional cycle track, which will be installed by St. Louis City prior to GRG constructing the new Greenway. We plan to install bold, high visibility crosswalk markings to promote safety and awareness for both pedestrians and motorists. the stop signs here again are shown in driver point of view. So there'll be a stop sign south and north directions, just to create a more efficient safety feature versus having yield sign or raised median. Just north of the crossing is a depiction of the 45-degree angle back in parking. We're allotting 2 spaces for ADA parking, van size parking, which would accommodate people with disabilities to be able to access the park efficiently. Also, we're adding safety features such as pathway lighting, overhead lighting to increase evening visibility within the park and along the greenway. And just to reiterate, this is currently to discuss the stop sign, so that's the main important safety feature here. We do believe that the stop sign control will be the best viable option at this location due to being a cost-effective measure, and also reduces injury from crashes or possible crashes at a minimum of about 20% by just having stop signs. So as most agencies are planning to implement Safe Streets for All practices, this will be a great addition to allow for motorists and pedestrians to have a safe crossing here.
And I would just like to add in closing that we originally in the design had accounted for a pedestrian hawk signal, which is a flashing beacon with a pedestrian crossing sign. We had shown this in our plans, and through our engagement in this last phase of design, through open houses, through engagement with some of our community advisory community groups, as well as presenting to some of the groups mentioned earlier, We Collab, Cornerstone, the adjacent residents, and also adjacent business owners. It was brought to our attention that there is some faster traffic that comes along this route just due to the activity along this route. There's not a lot of commercial properties that have people going in and out. It's more industrial commercial. And so people and vehicles, both civic and civic and regular users are kind of moving a little fast through this area. And so they were the ones who requested that we have improved stopping ability at this location, like a full stop instead of just the pedestrian hawk signal. So I just wanted to make sure that that was understood, that this was actually led by the community and proposed. We're proposing a solution for that in response to that comment. But we want to thank you all for allowing us to speak and present to you. And we thank all the community members and city representatives, stakeholders who've helped us shape the vision of this project. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much for the presentation and for the background on the project. We'll go of the committee. Alderman Vollmer, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Alderwoman Keys?
No questions, but thank you all for all of the great work on this. I really enjoyed seeing the project in full swing when we went to Indianapolis. So it's great to know that we're going to be getting that. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Velazquez?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Browning?
Thank you. This looks like a fantastic project. I've been following it, and I'm very, very excited. It's about time there was a lot of investment in this area, as well as something that really is reserved for pedestrians and cyclists and people pushing strollers or people who are just wanting to go for a nice walk. I think this will really help the area, and I'm excited about the Hodemont Tracks project in general. If you participated in a Keeping It Clean event, you know that this is used as a dumping ground, and it is sad because it used to be a streetcar line that people were able to take all the way across the city, and now it's it's probably never looked worse. But you know what? It's on its way up, and I'm really excited about it. Speaking of never looked worse, I'm looking at a street view picture of this road right now. Does this project include repaving of Hodemont Avenue?
This,
Or
I'm
will
sorry.
that be part of the? I see
Alderman, you're
Clerk
welcome
Hubbard
to
motioning that she will take care of that. Is
Right.
that what I'm interpreting?
I think that this particular project, are you saying Hodemont or the track? Are you saying Hodemont the street or Hodemont the track?
It looks like this project includes some curb movement in order to narrow the street, provide some parking spaces, provide a safer crossing. And you know, when I look at Hodemont Avenue, I think this is one place where Alderwoman Schweitzer's utility coordination bill could have really come in handy because it looks really torn up. But what I'm hearing from you is that that's all going to be redone as part of these projects. So that's good to hear. I think this will be a huge boon to the area, and I actually think a stop sign is probably a better approach than a hawk signal. I do believe are a little confusing for some people. So I hope this is exactly what can be done, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it being implemented.
Thank you, Vice Chair Browning. And thank you again for the presentation. I did a bike ride with the mayor's office, and we went to Hodemont Tracks and heard about the project and saw, the pathway and biked through it, biked through the park there. And it's really exciting to think about what it will look like in the future. Alderman Clark Hubbard, anything to say to close?
Just thank you. Thank you all for being here with this great presentation. Thank you all to the committee for hearing it. I think this project does highlight the community collaboration that's going on. And Alderman Browning, you brought it up. So the Keeping It Clean projects, of course, the We Collab and the West End. I don't want to leave out Scott Ogilvy and the Planning Division and the walks we've had over there. And so the efforts that they're putting in for the safety of any mode of transportation for that matter over there, but highlighting pedestrian and cycle traffic. So I just thank you all for this opportunity to present this, and I ask for a favorable consideration and do pass recommendation for Board Bill 149.
Thank you, Alderman. At this time, I will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation of Board Bill 149.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 11th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. We have a new Alderman on the call with us, so please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Vollmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Browning,
Aye.
Chair Schweitzer.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes.
With that, you've sustained the motion of the Alderman from the 9th, or the 11th rather, and we have passed Board Bill 149 with the due pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman.
Thank you so much.
We'll move back to the beginning of the Board Bills for Review section of the agenda to item number 1, Board Bill number 144. Alderwoman Keys, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of the board. If I could please have the clerk to read the summary for Board Bill 144.
Board Bill 144, introduced by Lord Keith. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the Director of the Department of Public Safety on behalf of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute a highway safety grant agreement with the Department of Transportation and accept the grant funds, appropriating said funds, and authorizing the Director to expand the appropriated funds by entering into contracts or otherwise for grant purposes and containing an emergency clause.
Please proceed, Alderman Keys.
Thank you, thank you. So this board bill is fairly simple. It is simply us accepting this grant on behalf of the Transportation Department, or MODOT, rather, as it says in the summary. I believe we may have Casey Milberg in the room to talk more at length about this particular program.
Wonderful. Ms. Milberg, you are welcome to present to us on this bill.
Evening, afternoon. It is technically afternoon. Casey Milberg, Policy Director in the Mayor's Office, here to testify and support and give a little bit of background on the MODOT Driver's Education Grant. This is the second year in a row that we've been awarded this grant from the State Department of Transportation. It is a first of its kind program in the state that MODOT is very excited about and gave us additional monies this year to continue to implement, that they hope that they can replicate and build out across the state. The purpose of it is to provide access to area youth enrolled in any K-12 high school education program in the city, to provide them with access to driver's education that they otherwise would not get through their schools. As many people are aware, the state has not provided a lot of funding for this to our schools, which is really a shame. We've seen certainly elevated incidents of youth driving accidents and sometimes fatalities in our city. So this has really been an effort to try to help stop the problem before it actually happens and help give our youth a good foundation to be safe drivers throughout the course of their life. So this is the second time we've gotten this grant. It's about $20,000 more than we've gotten in the past, which is very exciting. Allows us to increase the amount of students who are eligible to receive these services. We had tremendous interest in this program last year. And if it's all right, I'm going to kick things over to Lakeisha Robinson from our office, who did the actual work of helping implement in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of the City of St. Louis, to talk about how many students were able to benefit from this, outcomes, and all of that good work.
Thank you, Director Milberg. Please, Ms. Robinson.
Hi, Lakeisha Robinson, Senior Advisor on Children, Youth, and Families for the Mayor's Office. And as Casey stated, the last grant that we had, this partnership went super well. We had over 200 that RSVP'd or signed up to try to be in the course. Of that 200, over 150 were city residents and actually eligible for it. I stress that number just to show you the regional impact that is needed for this driver's ed. Of the 150, we had a little bit, about 130 that actually went through the courses, went through the classes, and 99 actually completed and graduated from that class. And graduation means different things for different people, but for sure, all students would have had in-class book experience as well as road experience. That was a part of the grant agreement, that the youth got both experiences. I will also stress that we've been doing some a wait list sign up for those youth who missed out on the opportunity last time, and we're already at about 50 to 70 students who have signed up for requesting, if this opportunity comes again, that they want to be a part of it within the city. And so I want to say that's about all the highlights I can think of, but it was a great program, and it was something that was requested highly from students. It was stressed already, it is not in our programs in schools, and kids don't normally get to drive if their parents don't have a vehicle. We provide all of that through this grant. They get the vehicle, they get the road assistance, they get the book and all of that, as well if they needed assistance to go with them to the DMV to fill out the application to get their license. That is also included as a part of the grant, and it's eligible for the students who are eligible to get a license.
Thank you. We'll move through the committee members for questions. Alderman Vollmer.
No questions.
I'll skip you, Alderman Keyes. I'm guessing you don't have any questions. Alderwoman Velazquez.
No questions. Just want to say thank you for bringing this program, and thank you for testifying here today and sharing more about it.
Vice Chair Browning.
Thank you. I don't have any questions, but I would like to be added as a co-sponsor and just saying yay, hooray for driver's ed. It's one of the 3 E's of road safety, and we should strive to do it more. And hopefully Missouri gets better at that in the future. But until then, we'll take the grant.
Is it engineering and enforcement? Are those the other 2 E's?
Yes, engineering and enforcement are the other 2 E's.
Okay.
Yeah.
We move for the committee to bank this.
Second.
Any call for previous roll?
Previous roll. There's
been any objection to previous roll? It's been a motion to make this in bank and have all of us co-sponsor it. It's by Alderwoman Velazquez, seconded by Alderman Browning from the 9th Ward and the call for previous roll from the 9th. Any discussion? And this is now in bank. Thank you. Thank you very much for bringing this bill forward. My questions would have been about, outcomes and how many people were involved and all of that, and you answered the question. It's great that the state is funding this. And is this from increased gasoline taxes, or is the money because of alcohol issues?
Yeah, this is we pay a portion of our federal road funds are reserved because we're one of a handful of states that allows for open containers in cars. And so what they do to try to disincentivize states and encourage them to not allow for open containers is they take a portion of your federal road funds. So that portion goes to Missouri for the specific purpose of road safety efforts. It's very grants to local communities for road safety efforts. So the bulk of the grants go to law enforcement for various law enforcement efforts around the state. Again, this was a very novel approach. They hadn't really seen something like this before, so it was a little bit of a different act that the state really appreciated. But yeah, it comes to us because we allow open containers in cars.
I feel like this is one of the first conversations we had, Director Milberg. When I first met you, we talked about this program.
Yes.
So we're in our second year of it. That's great. I'm glad that the city has gotten it again, and that's clearly due to your all's work on the program and everything that you're doing to keep it moving. So I appreciate it a lot. Is there any public comment or anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, we have none.
Okay. And with that, Alderwoman Keys, you're recognized to close.
Thank you so much again, Madam Chair. I am so much a fan of this program, and I was able to attend the graduation with the young people and their parents, and the mayor was there, and as well as a few other alders. And so this is just so exciting, and it's sorely needed in our community, especially today when our young people, in some cases are making some poor choices, and this gives them some tools to make better choices and to really understand road laws and how to properly operate a motor vehicle. So with that, I would ask for your favorable consideration and a due pass recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. With that, I will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation of Board Bill 144.
I move that we pass Board Bill, 144 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Second.
Previous roll.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th, and there's been a call for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Any discussion? Hearing none, we have passed Board Bill number 144 with a due pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman Keys.
Thank you so much.
Moving on in the agenda, I have a few bills, 3 here, so I'm going to pass it over to my Vice Chair Browning, for the remainder of the Board Bill review.
Thank you. Alderwoman Schweitzer, you are recognized on Board Bill 147.
Thank you, Vice Chair Browning and members of the committee. Board Bill 147 is to change a line in a previously passed speed hump bill. We had moved a little quickly and had the word Virginia when we had intended the word Vermont. And so to get things correct on our end and make sure that the speed hump can happen, we are making that change with this board bill to make sure that the right street gets the speed hump as intended. So that is the long and short of this bill, and I appreciate any consideration.
Okay, I'll go through the committee for questions. Alderwoman Vollmer.
No questions. Just sounds like a scrivener's error or somebody's drinking the night they drew it up. So no questions.
Alderwoman Keys.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
I don't have a good joke about Virginia and Vermont getting mixed up, but no questions.
Yeah, Virginia and Vermont, what's the difference, right?
Several letters.
I also have no questions. So just check to see, do we have any speakers on this bill?
No speakers, no written testimony.
Okay, with that, Alderwoman Schweitzer, you are recognized to close.
Thank you for your time, and only one joke.
Okay, with that, I'll accept a recommendation to pass Board Bill 147 out of committee
I moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
with a due pass recommendation.
Roxas.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do I hear a call for previous roll?
Previous roll.
Previous roll.
Hearing no objection, 147 is passed. Alderwoman Schweitzer, you are now recognized on Board Bill 148.
Thank you so much. This board bill is for speed humps around, oh, sorry, this is a stop sign board bill, I apologize. At Bowen and Livingston, Board Bill 148 is important because we've had a few accidents at this intersection based a lot of what both TrailNet and neighbors in that area believe is because of the two-way stop sign instead of a four-way stop. It is a just difficult intersection, and so there has been community input and again input from TrailNet about adding a second stop sign, making it a four-way stop sign instead of just a two-way. And I appreciate your consideration of this bill.
Thank you. We'll go through committee. Alderman Vollmer.
No, once again, the high controversy from Alderman Schweitzer, but we'll let it go. No questions.
Alderwoman Keys.
No questions, thank you.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
No questions, no jokes.
I also have no questions, although, do we have any testimony?
No written testimony nor speakers.
All righty. Alderwoman Schweitzer, you're recognized to close.
Thank you. I appreciate your favorable consideration of Board Bill 148.
Accept a motion.
I move to, so moved.
Second.
Move to pass Board Bill 149 out of committee with a due pass recommendation, or sorry, 148. It's been moved. It's been seconded. Do I hear a call for previous roll?
Previous roll.
Previous roll.
I've heard it. I've not heard an objection. Congratulations, Alderwoman Schweitzer. You are now recognized on Board Bill 151.
Thank you. I appreciate the votes before this one. This bill, another situation where I do actually have a committee substitute that I want to get in before I get another joke from Alderman Vollmer about errors made. So Board Bill 151 committee substitute is in the drive, and I would move to adopt Board Bill, committee substitute 151. Committee substitute to Board Bill 151.
So moved.
Move.
Second.
So moved.
Previous roll.
Okay. Committee substitute has been adopted. You may proceed, Alderwoman.
Thank you. So Board
Excuse me.
Bill.
So who seconded?
Sorry, the motion was made by Alderwoman Velazquez, seconded by Alderman Vollmer.
And previous roll was requested by?
Vollmer.
Vollmer.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for clarifying. Thank you. So now Board Bill number 151, committee substitute is in front of us. This is to install speed humps on Livingston Drive, and that is approaching the intersection that we just passed the stop sign at for the four-way stop. Again, we had an accident over the last few weeks in this location where two cars were approaching the intersection at the same time, high speeds. The car ended up on someone's front lawn, and it was not the first time that has happened in that location. So Livingston is just a street we need to slow down from folks on coming off of the park. And it is a route that a lot of the kids are walking on to get to both St. Stephen's and Warner Elementary. So something where we have a lot of input from the community around speed humps and that stop sign, and just trying to really shore up the safety mechanisms around that intersection with the previous accidents that have occurred there recently. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Sorry to hear about that accident, but cars don't belong in front yards. So Alderman Vollmer.
Apparently, you've never been to High Ridge. Okay.
I knew
No
you had a
questions.
joke. Yeah. Alderwoman Keys.
No questions, thank you.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
No questions.
I also.
Really.
We can make jokes about other people's bad driving everywhere, sure. But this is meant to prevent it. Looking forward to seeing that installed and the street being made safer. Alderwoman Schweitzer, you.
Thank you. I appreciate
wait.
your favorable consideration.
Do we have public comment on this? Is anyone signed up to speak on this bill?
We have no speakers, no.
Thank you. Sorry, I did not want to forget public. You are now recognized to close.
Thank you. I appreciate your favorable consideration of Board Bill number 151, Committee Substitute.
I'll accept a motion to pass Board Bill 151 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
151, Committee Substitute.
Committee substitute. Correct.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by the Alderwoman
Previous
from the
roll.
11th, seconded by the Alderman from the 5th, and a call for previous roll. Hearing no objection. Congratulations, Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you.
Hand the gavel back to you.
Thank you, members of the committee. Thank you, Vice Chair Browning, for taking that on. I see no resolutions for review, nothing under committee discussions. We've acknowledged that there's no written testimony. Any announcements?
Yes, I might have an announcement.
Alderman Keys, you're recognized.
Thank you. Alderwoman Schweitzer and I were I guess, hosting a play this evening at the Black Rep Theater. The play is Chicken and Biscuits. And so that has been postponed until the 22nd. So those listening, if you have your tickets, please hold them and they'll be honored on the 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Keys. I'm looking forward to seeing some theater with you at the end of the month.
Absolutely.
So any other announcements? Okay. All members were present today. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Looking for a call.
Previous roll.
Thank you. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection? Any discussion? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.